Right. Now, Deputy Wallace.
Minister, I first raised Project Nantes loan sale in here in May 17 with Minister Noonan when he was Minister. He told me that NAMA could not reveal any information on this loan sale under Section 99 and 202 of the NAMA Act. You twice refused on the same grounds, yet Section 99 and 202 do not apply to the House of the Oireachtas, but you allowed NAMA to hide behind them. I had to write to the PSC to ask them to get involved. NAMA were forced to begin a legal review into the sale, and the CNAG has now become involved. Minister, do you not think that in the public interest that you too should become involved?
Thank you, Deputy. I've already actually dealt with the actual background to it there with Deputy Murphy, so I'm not going to repeat what I said to her to you, Deputy. I don't think that would be respectful. Like, you asked me a direct question in relation to my involvement in the matter, and let me deal with that clearly, which is it's my strong view, and it is the requirement under law, that the relevant oversight body in relation to this matter is the Controller and the Auditor General. And as I indicated to Deputy Murphy earlier on, and as you are aware, we now are in communication with them in relation to this issue. That's the way I believe it should be dealt with. One of the things that strikes me, and maybe it's a thread that runs through some of the different issues that we've dealt with, is, a correct consensus grew in the aftermath of the crisis that politicians should be stepping out of particular roles and decisions they may have had in the past. And there was a general view, which I believe is correct, that there is certain work that has to be done on a non-political level. The regulation of our central banks, not being involved in decisions like NAMA or our banks would make. And then if there are issues that politicians are not inquiring into them, that's organisations like NAMA. And it does appear to me at times, Deputy, that the consensus that we have in relation to that kind of suits some, though not you, I want to say, some of the time. But then when we have issues that they want addressed, there's then a call on me to get involved in it. The right way for this to be dealt with is through the Controller and Auditor General. You fulsomely acknowledge at times the work that they do, and if there is an issue in relation to this, they will inquire into it. But as I did indicate to Deputy Murphy, NAMA have made available assurances in relation to how the matter was dealt with.
Minister, yes, I have great respect for the work of the CNAG, and I have for you too, and I think you should get involved in this. And I'll just give you a refresher of what's actually happened. Avestis took over Quinlan Private, Quinlan's company, in 2010. The three principal directors had borrowed heavily during the boom, mainly from Anglo, and owed 489 million when the crash hit. The three main directors are Olin Cremin, Thomas Dowd and Peter Donnelly. Their 489 million went across to NAMA. NAMA assembled a portfolio with 352 million of this debt and named it Project Nantes. The three boys went off to America to find someone to put up the money. They found a company called Clairview. They then set up a shell company in Luxembourg called Clairview Nantes. And here's the best part. They installed another director of Avestis, Mark Donnelly, as a director of the Luxembourg company. He'd been a director of Avestis since 2010, became a director of Clairview in 2012. Now, they brought Project Nantes for 26.6 million, a discount of under 10%. This sale is a breach of the NAMA Act, Minister, for multiple reasons. It was off-market, it was at a knockdown price, and worst of all, the purchaser was connected to the debtor. That is illegal under Section 172 of the NAMA Act.
I just reiterate what I said to you a moment ago. I think it's now accepted that politicians should not be involved in inquiries into organisations as vast and as significant as NAMA. We should not be involved in their day-to-day operation because of all of the potential pressure that we can come under. And if you're willing to accept that, then the converse of it is being willing to accept that the Controller and Auditor General are the right body who should do this work. You respect them, you publicly acknowledge the work they do at times, and surely the right thing to do is, given that the Controller and Auditor General has requested further information in relation to this matter. I understand the Public Accounts Committee are aware of this, that information be supplied to the Controller and Auditor General by NAMA, and then if the C&AG reaches any conclusions in relation to this matter, then of course at that point it then becomes a matter for me to deal with. But the key thing is we do have to allow due process to take place, and we do have to allow an independent body like the C&AG to do their work. NAMA have provided information to me. I've made that available on the record of the Dáil, as has happened I think before, and I have to respect the independence of the C&AG in them doing their work.
Minister, we're well aware of the fact, listen, as I said, there's no doubt about it, but the Controller and Auditor General is a serious operator and he's a credit to his office. But he has found it very difficult at times, to get information out of NAMA, and it was very obvious during the protracted Project Eagle stuff with the C&AG and NAMA that they were very reluctant to cooperate with him in a fair manner. Now, right now, NAMA are purposely downplaying the requirement of Section 172. A purchaser is, of course, not allowed to be a NAMA debtor, but is also not allowed to have any connection to the debtor. Mark Donnelly was the director of Asbestos in Clearview. This is a deliberate breach of Section 172. They can talk around in circles about this, but it doesn't change it. And Minister, listen, I accept your philosophy on, listen, okay, politicians shouldn't be getting involved, this, that and the other, the other people with the remit play out their role first. But I see the government getting involved on different occasions in this House. And I think this is one, Minister, that I would love to see you get involved in it. I have great respect for you, and I think that you could actually do something really good by getting involved.
If I did, I would be getting involved in work that the C&AG are doing and undermining any conclusion that they may reach in relation to how this matter was dealt with. You know, you have named individuals there, you have given your view in relation to them. I have to ensure that due process in relation to these matters is allowed. This is work that is underway by the Controller and Auditor General, and Deputy, it just would be utterly inappropriate for me to reach a view on this matter until that work is concluded.